What's your story?
Ron Wells here, CEO of Enhanced Fitness, and this is my story.
This episode is brought to you by the Loyalty Club, one of the hottest brands out, where they keep their items limited and only for the loyal few. Check us out online at theloyaltyclub.us, or if you're in the New Orleans area, you can check us out at our flagship store, 841 Fulton Street. You already know what time it is. Only for the loyal few club ties.
Where were you from?
I'm from the West Bank, born and raised, New Orleans. Shout out to the West Bank, big West Bank gang in the building. Grew up playing at Oakdale Park.
Oh, so where you from? It off the West Bank.
Oh, I'm from Gretna off the West Bank. Out there, grew up out in the Green, and then also in Harvey too on Estelot. I grew up on Wall Boulevard playing for Oakdale. Started playing sports about 5, 6, and that's how I ended up meeting Bliss in the concert, but playing at Oakdale. Me and he ended up playing against each other in our championship game, 9-year-old year, and that's when we really got cool, got jammed, and that's when the constable when Park started to take the best athletes from their park and make low-key all-star teams, and that's when the realm started, when I really started running with that boy, and how we really got cool.
Gotcha. So, being from, Gretna out in the Green, and Harvey, that's a lot. Both of them are hoods for people who don't know.
Correct.
They had, they have a lot of stuff that happens in every other city.
100%.
Still happens there. So, if how it was for you, growing up?
Well, honestly, I'm a sports athlete advocate, so because of who my parents were, I wasn't out in the streets growing up. But when I had friends, again, I'm from the city, I had friends in it, but my focus was a little different growing up. Yeah, I was getting into trouble in school, but I wasn't really like no troublemaker. I'm out the way, cool, calm, and collected. So my vibe was growing up playing sports. I jumped in it so early, by the time it come around time to really where you could make the choice to do bad stuff. I'm playing AAU, I'm on travel teams, so my friend group was a little different on the weekends versus who I'm hanging out with during the week, because I'm doing my workouts. I had trainers and whatnot. My dad was a strength and conditioning coach. That's why it's if you have something to focus on in a city like this, it's not hard to make it. I mean, it makes it a little easier to make it, but you're still in the environment dealing with the same stuff everybody else dealing with. But you still have that path that you focus on, whether that's drawing, singing, art. My thing was just sports.
Gotcha. So, going to high school.
Right.
Which high school did you go to?
I went to Cox. Yep. Shout out to Helen Cox. So I'm at Cox playing basketball, playing football. I'm at Cox with G, Eddie, Oliver, all the gang. A lot of us who went to Oakdale, we all ended up going to the same high school. So it was really
Melvin?
low key. Facts, yeah. I'm with Melvin. Yep. Melvin, Kelvin, all them boys, all them going to Cox. So we low key had a powerhouse at the time. We was transitioning from a junior high to a high school.
I remember that.
So we had a lot of people from Oakdale. That last year we won the championship. We getting a lot of people from Cox, and then you getting the Woodland West crew. A lot of them boys came. And, we getting people like Bina from Esla, who I grew up with.
Shout out Bina.
Shout out Bina, facts, yep. And then Calvin coming. Of course Melvin. Of course G. Taj, facts, Slim. Yeah, at the time, so we was a force to be reckoned with. Then them boys ended up going to win states after Katrina. So I moved to Carolina at that time. So after Katrina happened, I shoot to North Carolina and finished my last 2 years of high school out there. And then that's when my perspective really opened up to sports, because it was so many schools. You got Duke, NC State, Wake Forest, Winston-Salem, Virginia Tech. That's right there close to Carolina, South Carolina State. So I'm really seeing when I'm out of town, boy, they really getting it on in sports out of town. Then they got the facilities, they got the space, and then the environment's a little different. They really be on sports year round. Where here we got to change seasons. That was the biggest difference from Katrina hitting when I was at Cox, growing up playing in such a small area then versus going and play out there. While you going hour and a half away for games, and you're just exposed to a different community.
Yeah, that's a good experience, because also, playing with Greg, but that was just a whole lot of exposure right there, because he was one McDonald All-American.
100%. And then as an athlete, when you playing on a team with somebody who's that nice and had been that nice for so long, because by the time we get to high school, dude was already super cold. He really was just waiting for the system to fund his own talent. I just was a natural 3-point shooter and defense. So that's all I had to bring to the table was 3-pointers, shooting, and defense. Because you got the Calvin's, the tall point guard. You got Bina Quet on the other side. You got Greg and the Payne and Melvin. And then we was coming off of winning at Oakdale, so everybody in our system knew their role. So it wasn't never no hating, wasn't never no question of what you need to do. And if you coaching kids in the right manner to get them to college, that's how you build a team and win states. It's having role players.
Gotcha. So, moving from, Louisiana to where you move, if I was the culture, I ain't talking about sports, just
Correct.
the food and everything like that.
Right. So shout out to Charlotte, shout out North Charlotte, shout out Vance High School, the whole gang out there. They were super supportive. But at the time, North Carolina and Charlotte coach was still coming around. Like I said, they really get down in sports. Like they got hoopers, they running track, they doing that thing in track. But far as like culture for African American people and food, that's not really their wave. Just because of the pocket of where Charlotte at. So it wasn't really like super culturally. It was different because they going to school with no uniform. So I'm being exposed to way more people. Like they schools way bigger. They have more facilities. There's more resources. You know, they filming their high school games. Coaches just doing way more for the athletes. And the environment wasn't culture driven versus like a Bible belt. If I could say.
Gotcha. So graduating high school.
Facts.
Actually, what college did you choose?
So I chose University of North Carolina at Pembroke, D2 schools. I tore my ACL coming out of Vance my senior year. So I still had a couple of offers on the table, so I went D2. And then from there, bro, it was graduating high school was weird because Katrina had just happened, so I'm still kind of like tugging on, do I want to come back home? Do I want to go to school down here? Do I want to go to school out there? So I just stayed in Carolina and finished my college career out there. I was D2 North Carolina Pembroke. Was a great experience. Ended up playing safety when I got out there. And football in Carolina was it was a growth moment because it's cold and I'm not really used to playing in the cold and the snow. So that was a barrier I had to get over. But for the most part, it was a vibe. It was a vibe for the most part being out there in Carolina because they people was coming from so far. I'm getting teammates from Miami, teammates from Cali, teammates from New York, and everybody at the time, going D2, everybody got a story. So it was really, really good to go. Not D1, you went D2, so it's a lower level, but the concept and the competition is still there. There's still people making it.
Gotcha. And so let's bring it back to you
All
getting injured. Like,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't speak on this. Like, what was your mindset? Because, like, a lot of people like, dang, but I might just blew my chance to making it to the league.
Right.
Or, like, they be like, I'm going to get my career over.
Right.
Such and such like that.
So it was humbling because I had personally feel like I had came so far and overcame so much. But Katrina happened while I'm in high school, still being able to move away, do 2 years of high school, and then get a chance to play college. So that dream had came true. So in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm 2 years away. I just got to stay straight, stay out the way. And then I get hurt. The only thing that really saved my mindset, you dig, and my logic was that my grades was good. So at the time, I'm really at like a 3.2 when I get hurt. So I went straight to coach and was like, look, coach, I'm just tired of getting hurt, having to overcome. How about I just start coaching for the team? And he was like, perfect bet. So at the time I get hurt, I transitioned out of playing because it's my junior season at that point, and I kind of felt like the odds was against me to rehab back and then only have like 2 more seasons to play. So I started coaching college football within a week and a half of getting hurt and then bouncing back from the surgery. Of course, I'm rehabbing and whatnot, but at that point, I'm transitioning to what was the beginning of my coaching career, and that pretty much will launch this whole process. That moment of getting hurt and then not really wasting time trying to figure out if I wanted to play, and I just made an executive decision. So I got and did enough playing, just focus on my schooling and get my resume for the real world right.
Gotcha. So, graduating college, what did you, get any, degrees in?
Yep, so my bachelor's degree is in exercise physiology, graduated 2012, the study of the human body. And then that took me, so I graduated college and I'm back in the city within a week. And that's when the brand really started to take off. The brand started off as a senior project. So I did the whole, you gotta get the website, name of the website, build your website out on GoDaddy and make sure nobody have your name, get it legalized, get the LLC. She made us do all that as a project. So I moved home with the entire business plan. So at the time I'm working downtown at One Shell Square, right there on Corondalette and Poitras. So I'm working downtown in the gym, and I'm still kind of new because I'm used to coming from strength and conditioning, but I was trying to graduate and move into personal training and them two different realms of work. The strength coach, I'm in a weight room with 15, 20 athletes who know what to do. They're already motivated. So I'm thinking that
what the gym name was.
The gym name or the gym?
Yeah, the gym name that was on.
Ashna.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm working for Ashna at the time. So I'm really trying to get my training style and figure out how to personal train people versus be their strength and conditioning coach. So that's why I was like the push-pull in my career at the time. And once I kind of got that down, I got the personal training going in One Shell Square. But at the time, I'm thinking to myself, like I'm in the gym, I got the gym lit. I'm getting a lot of clients, I'm 15, 20 sessions a day. And then you independent by yourself, so I'm getting the bulk of the bread. But I still have to pay the gym. And I I really wasn't in the best space. So the first thing I did, bro, I opened up a book and I'm reading about Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Master P. And then they telling me how like they telling you in the book how just have your own product. In the hip hop blueprint, like Master P was saying, you have your own. You have your music, you have your apparel, you have your product, and you want to generate that revenue all for yourself. So the first thing I did was left the gym. I left the gym, so now I'm outside training on the West Bank at Oakdale, and I'm using the levee. So now my clients pay me, I'm getting 100% profit, and then I start selling the apparel, which is more profit.
Right. So actually, it becoming, I'm like fully independent, like, and actually learning how to train people, like, because if you can only get, I'm like better.
Correct.
So it's how did you, I'm like develop, your training style.
So the training style really came from, I took a little bit from my strength and conditioning coach and how we used to do the athletes in the weight room, and I added my own style to where it's really just set up like stations. And at the time, it wasn't really a lot of trainers training in that realm, because you could look at them and tell, okay, I'm looking at this person, like, they're a gym trainer versus like an actual strength and conditioning coach, which is fine. So I had just learned to merge the two, and just whether that's reps, whether that's time, depends on the exercise. And then as you keep writing your own workouts and writing your own style, you get your own coaching and fitness to how you want to run your classes, whether that's personal training, whether that's boot camps, whether that's group training, or if you're still getting the mix of like athletes and regular people coming in at one time. So the style come from, I just used to write workouts. Like again, that boy Wayne, Jay-Z said he used to write lyrics, because I'm studying hip hop, not to be no artist or nothing, but just how they deliver their content, how they in front of people every day, and I'm just stealing that, using that for my own training style.
Gotcha. So, I'm like, what's your advice to any, I'm like coaches and like, or like fitness trainers out there?
So I would tell them start. If I could tell myself anything, do the personal training base if that's your goal, but you got to get some product. You got to get, whether that's mats, whether that's bags, whether that's water bottles, whether that's t-shirts. It could be meal prep containers, and in the meal prep container, you giving away workouts. You have to have something that come with it versus just offering personal training. That's an outdated service, because you want to walk in Walmart, you ain't just going to get fruit. When you go to Chick-fil-A, you ain't just getting fries. So when you come to the Loyalty Club, you ain't just getting shorts. You can get a whole array of things. So that'd be the first thing I would say. Yeah, you can get personal training, but why that part of the business going up and down, people going on vacations, going out of town, people getting pregnant, whatever the case may be, people are going through things while your business is dropping on the training side, that's when you start marketing your product. So my advice is make sure you have a product, and you don't got to box yourself into a gym. You don't necessarily have to build a clientele and then get a gym and start paying rent, because most likely you're living somewhere. So say for example, you're living somewhere and your rent on a small basis is $1,000, and you have your box gym and you're renting there $1,000. So now your profit bottom line is at least $2,000. Well, at least $2,100, so you can have some profit. And I didn't want to put myself, no pun intended, in that box. So I took away the gym side of it. So I would tell trainers, take away the gym side of it and find a way to market yourself outside, space that you could rent out that don't have a high overhead.
Gotcha. So having those clients working out on the levee in the sun, hot. I know it was hot.
It was hot today. It was out there.
So how did you transition and actually grew your brand and actually learn how to actually make a brand
right.
while you was working out on the levee?
So the workout started off for free, and then the coincidence once I moved back home, and I'm from the West Bank and I grew up playing the sports. So all the people that I'm playing JPRD with, all the people I went to high school with, all of those friends, they grown and they back home too. So they come and support. Like literally almost every single person I came across in high school, they come and support, and they vibe with the fact that the workout free. And then from there, you have 5 people one Saturday. Then if you're just doing it 3-4 times a week, the next Saturday I have 10. The next thing you know, it's up to 15, 20 people every single day of the week. And I'm doing the boot camps Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Give them a break on Wednesday, text them a workout. And then from there, the brand really starting to move a little bit. But I don't have that much product yet. I'm just offering personal training. So I'm still trying to find a way to market more to the people. And then that's when the apparel idea started to creep in the door. And you can ask that boy Blizzard, man, I'm on the phone with him. I call that boy 2-3 times a week. How I do this? Does this make sense? Should I market it like this? Should I package my apparel like this? Do I buy it in bulk? Just trying to figure out how can I market more to the 15, 20 people that's already coming. And then from there it started to formulate into instead of just a personal trainer, it started to turn into an entire fitness brand. And that was like the beginning phases of what you now see today.
Gotcha. So, why you don't have one on a traditional gym?
Gotcha. I'm working downtown at One Shell Square, and I'm looking at the profit I would have made if I'm not paying rent, and it just traumatized me. Just doing all that work for somebody else, and then from there, I just said I could do this on my own. I don't need a person to keep the lights on for me, or to bring equipment into the gym. I'm like, I could do all this on my own, and then the gym keeps you stagnant. You have to stay in that spot in the area that your gym in. As you can see, I'm mobile with it. I flew in, did the boot camp here, fly out tomorrow, do some boot camps where I'm going on the West Coast, versus just being here and always having that rent on my back. So that was one of the main reasons I didn't get a traditional gym. And then when I started to market myself and collaborate. I'm sorry. When I started to collaborate with other trainers, it was easier to walk in their facilities and collaborate with them because I don't have a traditional gym, so it's not like I'm stepping on their toes. I could really offer their clientele free services. I could offer them meal prep ideas. I could offer them free workouts. I could offer them apparel designs, the entire nine, just because I don't have a traditional gym.
Gotcha. So, how's being one on like everyone? I'm like I can't get the word. How's being one on like everyone? I'm like I can't get it out. How's being one on like one on the athletic
Right.
director?
Facts.
Oh. Yeah, I'm glad it's going on the podcast. Everybody knows sometimes you mess up.
Sometimes you mess up. Facts.
But we still gonna keep it raw. How's being one like athletic director
Right.
like helps your brand?
So the good thing about the athletic director is I have the school backing me. So I have the school behind me, low key. Like if I can make it make sense, just look at it as if it's a hip hop artist that's signed to a label. So I'm a fitness trainer that's independent, that's low key signed to the school. So I have access to gyms, access to fields, and then I'm controlling all of the sports out there. So basketball, football, baseball. So I'm already getting access to all of those athletes. And then I just grab those athletes who go to the school, and boom, that's the same athletes who I'm training in my class and or their parents. So the athletic director side of it, it keeps the brand innocent because I'm working with kids. I'm working with kids throughout the day, K through 8th, and then once 2:30 hit, 9th grade to 12th grade athletes. So that concept is just running. The concept never stops because of the school being behind me. You're getting the athletic director role. And to spin back around the loop on the advice for the trainers, get your degree. Like I say, my bachelor's degree is in exercise physiology. My master's degree is in kinesiology, recreation, and sports management. So now I'm able to go straight to a business, and because I have the master's, I'm automatically low-key a manager. Depending on the type of business you're working for. I just chose the school system coming out of the gym because of the health benefits, and then I know for a fact that I'm off one time a month with the holidays, and that's when I run my marketing for my fitness business is when I'm off.
So I'm like, how's being from New Orleans helping you with creativity? with your brand.
Right. We sitting in the spot. We sitting in the person spot that I referenced. Dude I've been knowing since 8 years old. Who took his dream. He started off with the Sloppy Seconds. I don't know if y'all know about that. He started off with the Sloppy Seconds clothing brand, and then he take it to where he at today. So being from New Orleans, you're around so many creative people who don't mind hustling and going to work. That's one thing that this city breed is hard workers. So as soon as you touch down, as soon as you come on, everybody on the move. He doing the interview right now. Got other interviews to film. You doing the interview. Blake out there, Blizzy out there packaging inventory. So when you come home and you see people on their grind, it only should motivate you. So once I left the city and I'm out and I moved to the West Coast, it was just easy to take the grit from here and apply it to my work ethic. Out of town. Then I don't know nobody out there, so I'm not stepping on their toes. I'm not in their way. I'm coming how I'm coming. And you already know we're already out the way people. So just being from the city, just going somewhere where you don't really know a lot of people, it's easy just to get my hustle on, promote the positive side of the brand, and then you go home and rock out. And you just wake up and repeat.
Gotcha. So as you grew up in New Orleans on the West Bank as well, being from different hoods and things like that, what's your advice to a young athlete that's watching this interview right now, and how to move out there,
right,
while playing sports and not getting yourself in trouble?
Have multiple things you like to do, young athletes, because you're in the environment. Those still your people. Those still my friends, and I'm still a friend. But that because a person makes it not all the way conscious decision because of the environment, and that's nobody's fault. But you have to have something to focus on. Now you know there's people like me who you start off in sports growing up, and then you make your own brand. You have your own clothing brand, or whether that's coaching videos you're gonna do, tutorial videos on how to catch receiver passes, videos on how to get off jams. Specialize in something that you like already in the field. Like if it's basketball, do crossover videos. You can make your YouTube channel. You can start your brand ASAP. So by the time you get 18, 19, that's already running when you get to college. And just being from here, you know people gonna support you. So it's just all about having something to do that puts you out the way. When them boys go outside and they start doing what's not my side of life, I go home and start working on my basketball drills. And that's how I end up getting to college. Just knowing when to walk away and when to grind and focus on what I need to focus on. Same thing when you get in school. There ain't no parents, ain't nobody telling you wake up, ain't nobody telling you go to practice, ain't nobody out there motivating you. Everybody on scholarship trying to get them. Everybody's trying to get them. And we come from a city where getting you is the number one objective. So when you go out of town, you get around like-minded people like that, it's going to be easy to get you. Especially if you're coming from a place like this and you're already focused.
And also, it's about choosing your friends wisely as well. It's like you gotta, you gotta choose people that's gonna like, you know what, he playing sports, I'm not gonna put him in this.
100, and like a man, always just decide. I have friends like that. I have friends that say, no, Ryan, this ain't your deal, son. You don't need to come right now.
It ain't for everybody.
It's not for everybody, dog. And you really gotta know what's for you and what's not for you. That's the biggest bottom line out of people coming from Chicago's, the New Orleans, the LA's, the Oaklands, the Milwaukee's, the Arkansas's. Man, if the lifestyle not for you, son, go home. Go the other way.
I've been a lot of places, man. It's not even the biggest cities. It's like they got gangsters everywhere.
Everywhere, though. Everybody coming how they coming, and that's where you just learn to respect people. Because again, if you from here, we really out the way. You gotta move.
If you gotta move with, I'm like respect and and if you get disrespected, you have to move accordingly.
Move accordingly. That ain't even an environmental thing. That's as soon as you born, you already know. And you get 5, 6 years old, you ain't gonna try to let nobody take nothing from you. If I got candy and you take it out of my hand, there's gonna be a situation, and that don't change as you get older. But it's also knowing.
And actually, with that being said, sometimes you gotta be the bigger person and know how to walk away too. Cause sometimes it ain't worth your life.
It's not. And if you're already in the right mind state, you should already know why you in the room you in, why you in the space you in, and why you even talking to the people you talking to. I'll get telling because I don't even know why I'm talking to you. I ain't even supposed to be talking to you.
Because also being, playing sports and being an athlete, sometimes you can lose your temper in that wrong time and lose your scholarship and everything. All
that. So you got to walk around with a certain poise in all situations, because you gonna get on the field and get tested by people. Coaches gonna talk to you like you're crazy. But you got to remember, like, okay, I'm at this school because I'm on scholarship. I'm trying to get to the league. Or I'm in high school. I'm trying to get to college. Or I'm in junior high. I'm trying to get to high school. Or whatever. I'm selling lemonade. I'm doing this for my grandma, so she don't got to do X, Y, Z. Man, you better have that bigger picture mindset because it just saves you in the long haul.
Gotcha. So, being in sports, training, everything like that, what do you enjoy most about it? And, what do you actually dislike about it?
What I enjoy the most, we'll start there. I get to meet a new person and a new family every day. Whether that's somebody who need help with sports training, help with personal training, help with diet, help with what to do in school. Kids come to me, hey, what should I major in, coach? I'm a freshman in college. So the joy is because you set a great foundation for yourself. People come to you and they hold you to a certain standard. So the joy is being able to help a person push the concept of their life further. The part I dislike. Sometimes the excuses I get to why somebody's not where they at. You got to deal with that a lot because you low-key like a therapist as a trainer and a coach. And then in that moment you have to know when to motivate someone to do better and when to be their friend and just let them vent. Somebody don't always need a coach. So I just dislike having to balance back and forward. Like when should I be the coach for this person? Or when should I be the friend that they vent to? That's it's a weird space to be in. And I have a child too, so same thing with him. Is making sure I'm not too coachy versus just being his dad.
Right, because you don't want that, at the episode, he got game. And Kyrie Allen was he already didn't like his daddy before that. 100%. But how do you deal with the parents trying to step on coach's toes?
Struggling. So with parents, of course, the parent has the best interest for their child. And like I said, at this moment, I'm speaking from a parent perspective. I have the best interest. I feel like I have the best interest for my child, along with his mother. but it's also knowing that y'all got in the car and came to this space for a reason and let the professional or the person doing the job do it, because it's easy to isolate a drill, isolate a moment and say, man, why he ain't doing X, Y, Z? It's not about him doing X, Y, Z. It's about the betterment of all 15, 20, 5, 7, however many kids this person working with. It's about the betterment of the team and the organization. It's not necessarily about one person. So those parents, I would just ask them to trust in the system that you're paying for more, or trust in the coach that you're going to. Vice versa, like us as coaches, we're not coming to the parents' job like, yeah, you need to type on the computer like this. You need to drive your buses like this. Or you need to do your interviews like this. So just let the coaches create in their space, just like you get to create in your workspace.
Gotcha. So, being a trainer, everybody try to actually put one person in like one boat. So I'm gonna say, what's the difference between one I'm like regular personal trainer, one I'm like strength trainer,
right,
and one I'm like conditioner.
Gotcha.
Trainer.
So
trainer, I say
no, I got you. So personal trainers, most so they looking for the concept of taking what I would call general population, where they taking regular people, like people that just go to work and just provide for their family. They're taking that population of people and they kind of marketing the before and after concept. So you come to them looking the way before, then you leave looking the way after. That doesn't necessarily have anything to do with your performance. You can work out a certain way to get your chest and your stomach and your legs right, and you still can't shoot a basketball or run laps or catch a football, which may not be your goal. So that's why you have the personal trainer who's there for the aesthetic, to help a person look and feel good, which is a great avenue. Then you have the other side where you have the strength and conditioning coach who's training athletes already motivated, who it don't matter how they look. If a person got a gut, if a person arms flabby, if this is my quarterback, this is my quarterback. I'm trying to train him to throw the ball to my receivers. And if this is my linebacker, I don't care if he have abs. He needs to be able to read the D line and know which way to break off the block, or be able to run a pass. If it's my point guard, I don't care if he insecure about his arms and his jersey. Those are not things that strength coaches have to deal with versus what a personal trainer have to deal with. That's why they two totally separate lanes. Strength coach, you got to go to school and have a degree to be a strength conditioning coach. The personal trainer, you could wake up and decide to train people, and then boom, you're a trainer.
Gotcha.
So that's the biggest difference. No offense to nobody on either side, but that's just the difference in the two.
So tell us, what's next for you?
What's next? So the goal right now, man, them to keep building this gym for me at the school. We building a facility, a brand new facility, brand new football field, brand new basketball gym, and I'm trying to win more state championships as an athletic director. That's on the career side that's backing me. On the personal trainer, on the fitness side, on the personal trainer side, I want to continue to push the brand and become a household name, just like Nike or just like Under Armour. We're not stopping. We're gonna continue to come. It's apparel dropping once a month, just like Jordans. This apparel is coming out. Yeah, shout out to Blizzard for the blueprint. And we're just gonna keep on pushing. We're not stopping. We just started in New Orleans, started on the levee, then took it, went, got 2 degrees, and now it's just us versus the world. Enhance everything.
Gotcha. So, last but not least,
Right.
Tell the world, what can they find you on social media and everywhere else?
Gotcha. You can find me on social media. Scooter 504. That's SCOOTA 504 on Instagram. On Facebook, Ryan Wells if you're on Facebook, and on Instagram, and on YouTube, Enhance Fitness with an I. INHANCE Fitness on YouTube, and then enhancefitness.com. Again, that's Enhance with an I, not an E. And I'll give a little tidbit to why I have an I and not an E. So when I did the project in college, and you put an enhance with an E, that's a popular word in the world. Enhance furnitures, enhance tires, enhance camera work, whatever the business name. So that's why I chose to make it with an I, so that when you put an INHA, we popping right up. And we not better than nobody on Google. And it's his own word. Look, he like Baby and the May Bling Bling. Enhance Fitness is his own word. So shout out to me.